is time. It is time to brew your best beer.
Hey guys, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Although it is Thursday, we had a minor plumbing crisis yesterday. Kind of pushed the schedule for the week back a day, so here we are on Thursday. Quick updates on the SJPorr beer that I'm making. I was just down in the fabulous basement transferring it from primary into secondary, so we'll take a look at that right now. Well, today we're here in the sumptuous wine cellar at Casa Intermezzo. See, over there is the wine amongst a bunch of garbage, and actually over there is all the shelves where I keep all my brewing equipment. But anyway, we're down here. That is the SJPorr beer, the Belgian. We're going to be racking that into secondary. There's the carboy, and getting everything sanitized. And once we get this thing started, we'll take a sample and we'll be back. So we're transferring the Belgian from primary now into secondary. The color is looking good. I would have liked it to have been a little bit darker, but again, if flavor and everything else comes out, I'm not going to worry about it. We took our gravity reading. It is, you may not be able to read that, 1.015, and I'm pretty pleased with that. So there we are, the primary fermenter. You can see I was pretty much good to the last drop on getting most of the beer out of there and into the secondary. Then we've got the beer in the ferment temp 6000, there's the name, 6000 fermentation chamber. You can see the hair dryers replaced the heating pad, and that worked out fairly well. So it's going to sit here at least a week, given the gravity that I've got. I'm not sure I'm going to go full 2 weeks as I usually would, but we'll see. We'll take a sample and taste it at the time and see what happens. So overall, I am pretty happy with the SJPorr beer so far. I'm hitting my numbers within a couple of points. The gravity that you saw there, 1.015, I was actually shooting for 1.017. So I'm within a couple of points there. I was in a couple of points of the original gravity when it went into the fermenter as well. So I'm happy with the numbers. The color is a little bit lighter than I would have hoped for. I've got the sample that you saw me take down there. I'm sure you can't see the color, but it is a gorgeous, rich mahogany color. I was going for darker. Basically, when I was at Great American Beer Festival last fall, I noticed a lot of brewers are making black IPAs, black lagers, and I love my Belgian beers, and I was thinking at the time, not even knowing about the SJPorr challenge, that I'd like to try making sort of a black Belgian double. And I had put together a recipe, and I had done sort of a prototype batch in the winter, and I really liked it, and my friends that came by to drink my beer, which is the only reason I have friends, they really liked it as well. So I tweaked the recipe a little bit. I was hoping again it would be a little bit darker, but I'll take the color if the flavor is good, and this is going to be my first taste. So cheers. That is spot on what I was going for. Fermenting at the higher temperatures, giving me some of that estery flavor, which I'm sure will come out after it's bottled as well. It's got a little bit of the residual dark sugar flavors. I used a very dark Belgian candy sugar. I'm also going to be priming the bottles with a dark Belgian candy sugar as well, so that's going to add a little bit more of that flavor back in there. But I'm overall very happy. It calculated the alcohol content. I think it came in at 7.85% now. I can hardly taste the alcohol is there. I'm happy with the body. I think it's only going to get better as it clears up in secondary, and we'll see what happens with bottling. Not bad. Also had some time this week to play with a label for the beer. If you were paying attention to the video, you saw the little tag on the carboys. I tend to, when I buy the grains, I seal the grains in their plastic bags in one of those blue Lowe's 5-gallon buckets, and at that time I make up a tag with the name of the beer, and then that tag follows from carboy to carboy and into the keg, so I know what's in everything, in case I have, which I usually do, more than one beer in process at a time. So I came up with the name Double Agent. I expected it to be a little darker, but it's dark enough. So we'll take a look real quick here at the label that I came up with. So there's the label. The beer seems to be coming along pretty well. The only fear I have at this time is bottling the beer. It's been many, many years since I bottled conditioned a beer. So this past weekend I kegged the Surly Bender, and as I was doing that I drew off some beer and I bottled a 6-pack. So I've got a 6-pack of the Surly Bender. By the time I get around to getting the SJPorr beer, the Double Agent, out of secondary, these should be ready to test. So I'll test to see how well they're carbonated, the amount of sugar that I use. I did use the Belgian candy sugar that I want to use to carbonate this, which should give it an interesting flavor. So this is the test batch on carbonating beer and bottle conditioning beer, which I haven't done in a long time. So we're going to see how that comes out. I'd also mentioned in my last video that I was planning over the past weekend to change out a couple of the taps on my kegerator to Perlick taps. That was the plan. I had ordered them from an internet vendor and they were shipped out of Pennsylvania near Pittsburgh, which is 116 miles in that direction. The package, as the Australians might say, went walkabout. And it wound up going 2,000 miles in that direction. It actually got closer to Kevin Clements than me before it turned around and came back. I didn't get it until Tuesday, so it came in a couple of days late, and by then I had already kegged the beer that I was going to keg and had shuffled everything around in the kegerator, so the timing just didn't work out for me to do that. But I will capture a video of that when I do it, and we'll also talk about the difference maybe between Perlick faucets and standard faucets, because I did get a question from one of my viewers on that from my last video. I also want to thank all of you who are subscribing. I can't imagine now, I'm over 50 subscribers. I can't imagine there's 50 people that find this all that interesting, but hey, you know, if you've got nothing better to do with your day, I'm happy to have the subscribers. I do appreciate it. And I appreciate the subscribers and the likes that I've had and the views that I've had on the videos. So obviously I must be doing something right, even though it doesn't seem like it to me. So I think that's it for the updates. I'm not going to be able to do Homebrew Wednesday video next week. I'm going to be traveling for a family wedding, so there's not going to be a lot going on to report anyway. So we'll probably pick up in a couple of weeks, and that's about when we'll be able to talk about possibly taking the SJPorr beer out of secondary and bottling it and putting the remainder in kegs. So cheers everybody, and have a great week.